Hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of I Can't Carry All This. What the heck? I'll come back for that. Sorry about that. Well, last time we were here with Big Mo, Big Mo took a money shot right to the face, right? Ouch, what's pinching me? Oh, I'm trying to film and carry a box of stuff at the same time. It's not handy. So, I got online promptly that evening. This was on a Saturday, right? I guess it was a Saturday morning, early afternoon. Anyway, I promptly got online and thought, where can I get some more hydraulic lines quick? Well, I learned a lot about hydraulic lines, the fitting types, and what kind of hose I need, just a plethora of information, right? So the good news is I learned a lot. Bad news is I'm replacing 4 hoses that I took off, right? And they were online $164 delivered to my house. Not bad overall, right? Well, so then I got, sorry, distracted, squirrel. Then I got to looking around town near where I live, and you could get, I went to my local John Deere that's within a decent distance from me, and I found out they could build those hoses for $280. And I said, well, thanks for letting me know. I might be in touch. I'd already ordered the ones offline for $163 something. It's coming out of a place out of Pennsylvania. I got them on order, got them coming my way. And then I decided, well, let's stop and look at my local Napa know-how. And I found out that Napa makes hoses. And they had the JIC fittings. And I was happy. And then he told me the price. And I was still pretty happy because Napa made me 4 hoses today. I was stopped by this morning, talked to him about it, dropped off my hoses, made me 4 new hoses today for $204. So about $40 more. Call it 41. I got my hoses today. Can't complain about that. So I still got the other ones coming from the supplier in Pennsylvania that makes hoses, the online, something, discount hose online or whatnot. They're still heading my way. Why? Because it's nice to have spare hoses. As I got to looking around this machine, there's hoses everywhere. And just like these down here, they still got the Ford yellow paint on them. Any of these hoses, like you can see, this one's been replaced. This one has not. And it's got rubber hanging off of it. It's got a wire sticking out here where it's been rubbed. And original, replaced. Nope. Yellow, original, right here. And that one's been replaced, obviously. And not with a JIC, and a pipe fitting with it. Oh, come on. You're killing me with the adapters. But after much research, so there's a few new hoses here and there. There's a lot of originals down in here, would scare the tarnation out of me. Ugh. The good news is, and same thing on this side, I need these two. These are the lift bucket. These are for the tilt bucket stuff, right? And I'm looking for this little spacer, like there's one here. Looks like this is actually a piece of wood somebody made in here. It should have one like here. And I can't find these anywhere online. So, and that 3D printing, I'm curious if it'll actually hold up. But anyway, the good news is I got my hoses. This type of fitting, which I have covered up with a baggie here, with that kind of taper, that's a 37-degree taper on the inside of that. And that's got that on both ends. So these are a male-to-male fitting on this, and it's want to make sure with my finger that it's clean. No debris in there. And look at the grease that's oozed out of here. I actually greased all this stuff, and I love seeing the grease sticking out of all the greasable stuff. Looks like I might have missed that one. Good news is I have a cordless grease gun now. According to it, can do 16 tubes of grease on one charge. I don't think I've used 16 tubes of grease in 10 years, but now that I have Big Mo, the grease gun's gonna be busy because I'm gonna maintain the snot out of this thing. We got a lot of work to do. So let's get these hoses on. As you can see, this is what a J1C or J1C JIC fitting. This is a number 8, which basically goes onto a 1/2-inch hose. They go like 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Now the other thing I just got coming my way today, which is a plug kit. If you don't know what a plug kit is, it would be something that when I took this off of here, that I could have put a plug here and a plug here on the bursted hose, and then I could have used a 1 cylinder to get this bucket up in the air a little bit and limped it, you know, hydraulically wise, so to speak, up to the house instead of leaving it out in the middle of my backyard. I could have at least put it away in the shed or something like that. But I couldn't because I couldn't plug off the leak. And this is just the beginning of a lot of things I'm gonna learn. And I hope you guys enjoy this type of stuff, because I'm bringing you along for everything I learn, you guys are gonna learn. And we'll go forward from there. But yeah, this is a beast of a machine for sure. And we're gonna keep it going and going and going. And after I get these hoses up on it, I got to get it up near a garden hose because this thing has hydraulic oil everywhere. And I'm gonna get a bucket with some soapy water, some Dawn, and I'm gonna sponge bath this whole thing to get all this doggone oil off of it. Amazing. And I hope the 2 gallons of oil I brought out here with me is enough to top off the reservoir. I don't know how much I lost. When it's coming out there like that, it looked like gallons. And I only have 2 gallons, so I might have to stop by the Hardmore store, okay, Napa, and buy me a couple more gallons of hydraulic oil because I don't want to run it low. And it was at the ad mark before this happened. And there again, this takes a total reservoir holds 21, I think it's called, I figured out to 21 gallons, almost 21 gallons. It's like 82 quarts or something like that worth of oil. Because I thought, well, I'll change it out and put all fresh in. Well, I just changed some of it out, and for the cost of the oil, and this looks pretty clean, I won't be doing that. So let's get busy putting some hoses back on, and we'll go from there. And then I'm gonna fire this thing up again and move it around until the next hose break. When you get your brand new hoses, do not be afraid to tilt your camera so it's less at an angle. No, don't be afraid to take an air hose and blow through both directions. Don't assume that they did a great job on cleaning out your air hoses when they built them, or your air hoses, your hydraulic hoses when they built them. There again, they should have, but wouldn't you rather be safe than sorry on this? So I've already blown out all these hoses that I've got here. You know, besides blowing oil through them, through the one that, you know, completely toasted out on me. See if I can get this back under here. Yep. So nice having these brand new hoses. It's gonna be awesome. Why is that so? No, they didn't. Well, this was 7/8 on one end and 1 inch on the other end. Now they're both 1 inch. And I now only have one 1-inch wrench. So I have to walk up back to the house and get my big old crescent. And work it that way, I guess. Just want to hold it still. We'll go ahead and get them all in. Now you might ask, Michael, how come that wrench has a weld down the middle of it? Well, it's a long story, I'll make short. I cut it in half. Hope you enjoyed that story. I got more of those. Let's aim you right in here. And I know we're getting into some less than desirable lighting conditions right now. Now the hoses that were up here did not appear to be original and have been replaced at some time in history. And how do I know that? Because of the way that it is. Because they didn't have any yellow paint on them. And I probably should have got them made a little bit shorter, to be honest with you, because I saw in my research when it came to lines and how you're supposed to get let's see here if I can get this started. There. No, not there. We're not started. Come on. The lines, like on this situation here, should be as straight as possible. And when I say straight as possible, I mean not, this should go straight across here. It shouldn't have a whoop in it. But I had them copy what was there. And it had this whoop in it, and I should have just measured it out and got it exactly right, but that's okay. It's going to be what it is. And it's, you know, it's not the end of the world. Because these here don't move up and down. They don't have to have slack in them for movement at all. Like I already said earlier, I did order a set of plugs. And it goes from J4C, I think, or the the number 4 JIC all the way up to number, I think, 12 JIC. It was like $54 to get the plug set. Just so in a situation like this, I could actually put plugs in it and keep stuff out of it that I'm trying to not let get in it anyway. But also could limp myself back to my repair areas, as it were. And the other thing I did learn during my research is you got different types of fittings like this that are, there again, you got the JIC fitting, you got O-ring fittings, a couple different styles of O-ring fittings that are popular. But when it comes to being the most durable and most, I don't know what you want to call it. Oops, I don't know why I did that. There we go. Type of fitting, the JIC fitting is one of the best. According to, not me, according to some people that make these hoses for people on the fly type of situation. See if I can, trying to find spots to clamp you guys up to watch what I'm doing, as it were. That doesn't have oil all over it. And I'll tell you right now, there just ain't a lot of that after what transpired here. The one thing for sure is everything here is well lubricated. Goodness. Okay. There again, my goal here is to make sure all the connections are clean, dirt free, because this is a 37-degree angle on here, and you don't want that meeting up with any dirt or grit at all, because it could scratch your surfaces, and it could also damage the surfaces, and then it's going to leak on you. And nobody wants any of that. Like I said, the good news is I was glad to see all these had JIC connections on them. There are a few up there that were replaced with hoses from, like, I'm just going to call it out like it is, from Tyson's or Tractor Supply or someplace like that, that did not. They all got this pipe thread on the end, right? And then you get the pipe thread, and then you put your adapter on there. And then it's just, and I don't like that setup myself either. Just for the simple reason, it's another connection. You know, one more connection that you don't have to, that you have to deal with. Especially when you're working with a pipe fitting, pipe thread, and then another thread. It's just, that's why I went to the extremes I have to get Zacked match hoses again. Okay. Another good thing the Napa has is these, their Gates hoses. They're good for 4,000 PSI, which should handle everything this tractor can muster up pressure-wise. Looks like that hose has been rubbing there for a while down below. There again, that was original hosage on this thing. I gotta get my big wrench so I can, I don't have another 1-inch wrench, but I gotta have something to hold this still. I'll be back. Toast, you're funny. I'm back. So the crazy part today, the high was a high of 63, but as soon as that sun goes down, whew. Here again, I'm putting the wrench on the hose and stuff just to, you know, take the stress off what I'm tightening down. This one's just an awkward little booger to get to. All right, good. Well, there's two different types of JICs he hooked me up here with, I think. I'll be dipped. So the other wrench might work. Nope, that must be a 15/16 now and not a 7/8. Well, I'll be. Box in the bucket, tools in the bucket. Everything's in the bucket, just say bucket. Okay. Hydraulic fluid. Well, it's not even to the ad mark. Why would it be? What did I do with my rags? I brought rags up here. I do apologize for the lighting, folks. It's, oh man, everything I touch has got oil on it. And everything I touch, again, has oil on it. I got off work at 4 today, and I'm not fortunate enough to be able to do this YouTube thing full time yet, but that's okay. Where's my knife? I've been walking around naked all day without my knife. Now, I want to be careful when you punch this silver stuff out that you don't put it inside your oil. I'm guessing it won't do your filter a lot of good or your pump a lot of good. Let's see if I can hit this hole. Oh yeah, here we go. Should have brought a funnel with me. That's okay, I can hit the hole here, I think. Looks a lot different like this than when it's coming at you at 1,000 miles per hour at your windshield. This might not be enough to get me out of trouble, but it might be enough to get me up to the house and I recheck it. Get it back on some level ground. Like I said, I don't know how much I lost, but I know how much squirted out. It was a bunch. I gotta drive up to the house with a windshield that I can't see through worth a darn. It's okay. I wonder if it shows up on the dipstick at all here. Hey! I filled it right up to the ad mark. Almost. It's gonna go down once I get all the air out of the cylinder. It'll be enough to start it and go from there. Boy howdy. Let's fire it up and look for leaks. All right, let's cold start Big Mo. Only place there's no oil is on the inside of this thing. Goodness. All right. That's in. That's out of gear. This is in neutral. Well, that's one thing. This thing fires up like a banshee. Now I don't expect anything to leak yet because I haven't put any juice to them. Operate the lever. So far, so good. Yay team, it's working. Well, it's hard to tell, it's not leaking anywhere. And then I tipped the bucket. Dumped all my stuff out. Looks good and dry. Let's get it up to the house. First, I gotta drive around the yard a little bit. That'd be crazy for me not to while it's running. I'm assuming, I don't know. Can you pull the dipstick while it's running? Dipstick anymore. That's fine. It's got 80 quarts in it. I would assume if I'm not exercising it, So they'll be okay for a minute. You guys check this out. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's like a tin can bolted down here. I don't know if that's a cup holder or what. One thing's for sure, we gotta put some GoPro mounts in here and outside to, you know, do some stuff. I see how that works. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to go with the bucket down. That rear bucket's, oh yeah, that's a lot of drag. I can't see nothing. I'm gonna turn you guys around so you guys see what I can't see. Yep. Scary to say the least. Oh, close. We're gonna pull her around on some flat ground so I can get a good oil check on it. Well, we officially lost most all our daylight. It's pretty dark out right now, but this does pretty good in low light, but not, it's gonna look grainy, and I apologize for that. But it's back up in its outdoor parking spot for now. I'll be able to check I gotta buy 2 more gallons of oil at least, because it was on the dipstick and now it's not on the dipstick, so 2 more gallons ought to top it off. And this is in the spot where I can give it a sponge bath with some soapy water, some Dawn, and just get all that oil off of everything. It happens. I knew I'd be replacing hoses one by one, Just didn't know I'd be doing it after 35 minutes of operation. But there again, I was working it a little bit, right? And when I was working it a little bit, it decided to pop. There again, what can you expect from 48-year-old hoses, right? All right. We'll be back when we're outside, maybe soaping her down, topping off the oil, and hopefully doing a little more work with it. All right, we're back out here a couple days later. You saw me get the hoses on. I had to go to some training. Now I'm back. Our daylight hours, you know, by the time I get home, and if I get off early enough, the sun's still like right there. Got about an hour and a half to 2 hours of daylight. That's it. So, first things first is I got to wash all this, you know, this thing puked all over itself. We got some, there again, brand new Gates hoses on here. No leaks. Awesome. We've got oil all over. I mean, literally from right here all the way back up and over. It didn't get the back window so much, but it's like driving through bathroom glass, as you can see here. I got to get it cleaned off. Now back here, as you park it and set things around, you start looking and go, hey, look at here, I got a drip right here, so I might need to tighten that fitting up, which I'm going to do. And then you start recognizing older hoses, ones that still have Ford yellow paint on it, with things going wonky here. And so we need to we're going to have to make a few more hoses here. Yep, it's pretty rough. But that's okay. Well, I knew I was going to have to replace some hoses here and there. You know, as you can see here, there's an old one. There's a newer one. It's got mold on it. So it's not new. It's just newer than the other one. I got, on the bucket here, I've got a couple more of these guys we're going to have to attack. But I guess what I'm saying is I did buy a plug kit. So if I did blow a hose, I can pull this hose off and plug this, you know, and still move something possibly and limp the tractor back up to an area I can work on it and not lose a whole lot of oil. I did fill this back up. I topped it off after I got it back up here in what I'd call levelish ground. And as you see here, it's right there halfway between the end of the dipstick and the ad. So, and that's where I started out. I bought 2 gallons of oil thinking that should be enough to top it off. Well, it was enough to top it off after it puked all the oil out all over itself. And now we're going to, I bought 2 more gallons, and that stuff wasn't cheap. So it's all fun and money, right? Can't take it with you. And other sayings like that. So, not that I like wasting money by any stretch of the imagination. So let's get you pointing in this direction. And what I'm gonna do, there we go, there's Big Mo. Gonna get his first bath. Now I'm not normally big into washing my equipment down a lot, but when this happens, you gotta kind of do something, right? So what I'm gonna do is I got my 5-gallon bucket. I got Dawn dishwashing soap. Why? Because it cuts grease. If it's good enough for my dishes and ducks, it's good enough for Big Mo. And I'm probably going to use an excessive amount. My goal is to possibly do some digging with you guys tonight. We'll see. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, what a mess. What's funny is the worst front light on this thing's got tape all over it and all around it. That's the one that works. You wouldn't think of it just looking at it, but that is the case. I don't know if pre-wetting this is going to really do me any good because the water's just going to, look at it, beads up like it's been Thompson water sealed, like my trailer. But I want to get up there and work on the lights, and I want to stand on some of this, and I can't do that when it's slipperier than owl shit. I'll tell you what. Actually, I'm going to do the opposite of what you should do. I'm going to start up at the bottom and work my way up because I'm going to have to stand on the stuff on the bottom to get to the top. And some of you might be asking, why aren't you power washing it? Well, power washing is fine for a lot of things. I don't like power washing all my grease and power washing water down in there. Maybe someday I will. you know, I got that new electric cordless grease gun. Just give me a reason, baby. Just give me a reason to use it. But yeah, now I can already see that it's quit bubbling up. As soon as you hit it with the Dawn, yeah, it quits beading up. Because Dawn gets grease out of your way. That's not a plug for Dawn, but I'm just saying. There again, I'm not trying to get it perfect. I just want to get it operational because any oil or whatever, dirt will collect on that oil and just turn it into a mess. I don't want that either. There again, I just got me a long handle scrub brush I've always kept around here for years to do wheels and stuff like that on cars. Oh yeah, as soon as that Dawn hits it, it just like does a good job. I gotta clean this exhaust pipe off because that sucker is coated in it. And when I drove it up here, it already started smoking again. I tell you, when they put a grill on this things, they put a grill on it. This is 1/4 inch thick steel plate with holes in it. and whatever dented this here must have dented that in, because I'll pull that off and I'll straighten that back out one of these days. So it's, you know, just because I'll be bored. I'm never bored. All right, let's give her the first rinse and see how that's working for me. It's already not slipperier. It's even got a rain gutter over the door. That's pretty cool. Some good engineering there, I'll tell you what. I can already tell you some of the stuff that's on here will come off better with a power washer. That might be in its future for sure. Can I do your window, sir, while you're at the stoplight? Well, please do. All right, I'll make it pretty. The other nice thing I'll be doing with this thing is it'll be parked in the shed pretty soon here. I gotta just get a boat out of the way. And this is gonna go in a shed, or my lean-to. So it won't be exposed to the weather. You know, just make it look nice and keep it nice a little bit longer. All right, it was halfway below the add oil in the bottom of the stick. I put in a whole gallon, and now I think it might take another half a gallon to get me there. I want to start off with it full, sitting in this position. I know not all the cylinders are liquid tight, so to speak. And I kind of want to, you know, kind of compare maybe the hours of use to how much oil this is consuming. When I mean oil, I mean hydraulic oil. Just barely past the full mark. We'll run with that. And I got, about a third of a gallon left. I put a little bit more than I wanted to in there. Now I know I got this known leak back here. That is I'm not sure which side it's coming from, if it's from the tapered pipe thread or from that's bigger than an inch. Dang gone. What size is that? That's that. All right, gotta get my bigger wrench. It's bigger than my biggest wrench, which is 1 1/16. So I'll have to measure that one. That'll be on the to buy list. Yup. Now, how much turns we got here? Ooh, there's a little bit there. Now, even though this hose has been replaced not that long ago, it'd make a great backup hose, but it doesn't have the JIC. It's got the JIC fitting with the JIC adapter going from a pipe thread, like a 3/4 inch pipe maybe, down to it looks like a 1/2 inch JIC, which I think is a number 6. And I don't like that setup at all. It's like, just add more problems, you know. I think this looks like Ford original here because of the paint. And I'm not sure what this might be for. I don't know. But since it operates something, I think that might be part of the, I don't know. We'll just have to research it. What I'm saying is there's a lot of things I don't know. Oh, look at that sunset. It's like Big Mo was made for cameraing. That's the act of using a camera, cameraing. Don't believe me, look it up. All right. Now looking at the hour meter looks like it has less than 4,000 hours on it, which I was happy to see that for something that's 48 years old. Well, let's just get down the hill with this thing. Hey, the fuel gauge reads halfway when it's full. Temperature gauge, I don't know if it works yet. All right, let's get you. Look at that, we can see out the windshield again. Now, a gentleman did tell me about my flapper on the top of the exhaust. He says it should be pointing the other way so the wind blows it shut and the exhaust blows it open. I cannot disagree. As he said, he's been doing this stuff for 52 years. Now, what scares me is going down hills. There again, I know this thing has a low center of gravity, but oh yeah. I think the other day I was playing around in 3rd gear maybe. Yeah, the brakes work good. That needs a little grease on that one, I do believe. All right. Let's get out and show you what I'm going to do. If I'd have known it had been this fun owning a diesel tractor, I'd have bought one 2-3 weeks ago. Oh wait, I did. Now what we got here is my old pond. My old pond has a spillway, and you can see where the water line is compared to the spillway line. Now all the ponds in this area are way down on water. It's been more or less a drought. I haven't seen it this dry in probably almost 10 years was the last time I saw it this low. And I actually had fish in it. But this pond no longer has fish. I had a severe fish kill. I had 8-inch crappie in here. I raised them up. 2 years later, I'm catching 8-inch crappie out here, and it was awesome. And then an early freeze came, and I didn't have enough oxygen in the water. Complete fish kill. So, part of the reason to buy this guy, and here again, I'm getting used to the backhoe, so I'm not getting too daring yet. But I got a spillway right here behind those bushes, or in that brush, that doesn't work. It leaks really bad. Now my goal in this pond is to dig it deeper. There's a lot of, what do you want to call, decaying debris in there, and the mud stinks, and it's just silted in so bad. Well, my goal is to bring this pond up 4 or 5 feet from where it's at. Also get in there and dig it down. There's a lot of clay here, but the more I dig, the more I know as to how I'm going to approach this. Right now, the other thing I got to do is all these trees around the pond here are coming down because I don't want leaves silting in my pond again. I want to put fish back in it. I want to have a dock on it. I want to have a swimming area and all that fun stuff eventually. So you guys are going to see a pond. If you stick with me for a while, you're going to see a pond get dug out and get better. And yes, I'm that crazy guy that's going to try to do it all with a backhoe. But first I want to get used to doing some digging. I want to reach out and dig next to this spillway and see how far down I can dig a hole right here, because I want to get that spillway out of here, because I'm not going to use that type of spillway any longer. The cement's cracked. The closest the water line would ever get up to is within about a foot of it, because it's seeped through and leaked through the crack. So let's see what we can do. Now, I'm gonna leave you on regular time for a little while. You're gonna see me getting used to things. Like I said, I've ran this thing a total of an hour now, and 35 minutes of it was of that bucket, and I blew a hose. So I haven't got a lot of, I got this much experience pretty much, I'd call it, guys. Let's see if I can, yep. And if something happens, I got the mic on me, I'll be in the cab, and you'll hear my real life responses. I'll try to keep it PG. I do like the fact that when I close this door, it's less they're noisy in here. Yep. Alright, what do I do here? So one thing I'll learn too is I'll be learning how to dig, more or less, right? Let's just take my first reach here. Whoa, gentle. Oh, this swings way up to 90, sweet. Whoa. Not knowing what I'm doing. There we go. Dump it, bring it back, other way. Bucket out, arm down, bucket out a little more. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll reach out a little more. Yeah, maybe. There you go, scoop of dirt. did a little digging last night. And, you know, I've been chomping at the bit to change the oil in this. I've only put a couple hours on it myself, but I don't know how many hours it had on the oil when I got it. So while it was hot and after dark, and I knew it would be good, you know, good filming time or good video time as far as the quality of video, so to speak. So I went in and drained it and put a new filter on it last night. Ran out to the store, picked me up some of this Rotella T4 15W40. Now I talked to a couple people. The book says at certain temperatures run this, straight weights, whole bunch of straight weight stuff, right? Well, this book was from 1975, of course, right? So I talked to my oil guy. He's got some antique tractors, some old stuff, and he'll run. He goes, "Are you going to run it in the wintertime?" I'm like, "Yes." "Are you going to run it in the summertime?" "Oh, absolutely." And in order to, and around here in the Midwest, when the weather changes, from one week it's in the 60s and the next week it's in the 30s, you don't change the oil every time that happens. So he said, use the multi-viscosity oil. So I'm using the 15W40, which should be cover me for a good wide range. So that's what I'm doing. Now this thing takes 7 quarts of lubrication to make it all happen. So I've got a long funnel down here to get down to the fill zone. And we'll just keep going down to a quart here. Get down to right here. We're going to call it full. We'll fire it up. We'll let it run for a little bit. We'll shut it off. We'll pull the dipstick. We'll see how it's going. And that should be good for, you know, a few more hours of operation, I'd say. Last night, all I did was a little bit of bucket pushing. Got me a flat spot developed out there. A little more where I'm going to start digging the dam. I'm going to start digging that out tonight. I'm home. I got about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours once I get down there set up worth of time. So to do some digging. It goes a little slow. And here I'm curious, just tonight, for instance, after I run this thing for a couple hours, I want to pull the dipstick and just see how bad the oil is changing color. I think I said earlier in the video, maybe, or the last video, I don't remember, but it was a situation where the guy said 8 hours in my pickup truck and the oil's just black as coal already. Where are we at? We're almost there. So it's going to make me feel real warm and fuzzy inside to just have this thing with, where are you? Fresh oil. So I know what's going on with it. I've already put one 4-quart thing in it, and I'm putting 3 more quarts in it. That should get me to the we can start it level. And what you're sitting on right now, I finally acquired it, came in today, as a magnetic GoPro mount. And the nice thing about this vehicle, it's all metal. It's either metal or glass. So I can stick this pretty much everywhere. Don't you guys be telling me where to stick it. All right, just making sure we're keeping this friendly. All right, this has an interesting plug in it. It's almost like a boat plug where you turn it and expands it. Easier to go this way. Expands out, just fits tight in the opening. I can respect that. That seems to lock it in pretty good. All right, let's fire it up. Ugh. It's got a pretty strong magnet on it too. I'll tell you that for sure. The cool part is I'll be able to stick you guys in a lot of really cool angles. Oh, like this. Point you up at some stuff. And you guys don't have to look through a stinking windshield.